He thought he could steal the seat, but the flight never took off. Who do you think you are, black girl? Your place is in the back, with the riffraff. This seat is mine. Alistair Finch's voice rang through the cabin, arrogant and sharp, as he sank into a first-class seat that did not belong to him. He never imagined his smug act would ground the flight along with his pride. This is my seat. Leona Vance's voice sliced through the air like thunder, silencing murmurs instantly. She stood tall, boarding pass in hand, her gaze steady and fierce. In seat 1A sat Finch, a white man in an expensive suit, his twisted smirk the entitlement of someone who had never known denial. He chuckled hollowly. Your seat? Are you insane? Seats like this aren't for people like you. Some passengers shifted, others hid smirks. Leona stood her ground, the light catching her ticket. She belonged here. A nervous attendant, Marco, approached. He checked her pass, then looked at Finch. His trembling hands betrayed the truth. Sir, may I see your boarding pass? Alistair ignored him, reclining deeper. Do her a favor, kid. Put her in the back with her kind. This seat's taken. The words struck like venom. Silence deepened. Leona extended her ticket for all to see. It says 1A. In my name. I will not move. Finch laughed louder, venom dripping. Money buys clothes, tickets, even covers. But it can't buy status. Up here, that's all that matters. Get out before you infect. The cabin became a courtroom. Witnesses afraid to speak. But Leona's stillness spoke louder than shouting. She stepped closer. Stand up. Finch smirked, folding his arms. Black and deaf. I told you it's mine. Call someone if you want. Nobody here will help you. Know your place. Marco swallowed, looking around desperately, but passengers averted their eyes. Leona's presence cracked their indifference. Alistair leaned forward, breath sour. No matter what you've achieved, you'll always be behind us. And today you'll learn that. Leona raised her ticket higher. I paid for it. My name is on it. This is my seat. He scoffed. You're right. You don't have rights here. Not people like you. A woman frowned in row 2, but said nothing. Leona repeated, firm and louder, stand up. Alistair tilted his head, smiling cruelly. You think money makes you equal. You never will be. Bathed in gold, still dirty. Marco winced, but stayed silent. Alistair waved him off. Find her a seat in the back. Get this black woman out. She disgusts me. Leona's eyes burned. You can buy tickets, but never dignity. And today, you will move. Alistair laughed harder, his voice filling the cabin. Dignity? Pretty word, but useless. I've claimed this seat. No cameras, no magazines, just you and me. I'm not moving. The plane held its breath. Inside, Leona raged, but her silence was unbreakable. Alistair lounged like a king on stolen ground. Marco trembled. Ma'am, he whispered, please take another seat. Just for now. Leona turned slowly. You're asking me to give up my seat. Marco looked down. Alistair smirked wider. See? Even he knows. Don't complicate it, girl. You belong in the back. A man muttered, this is disgraceful, but was drowned out by silence. Leona's knuckles whitened on her ticket. This seat is mine. Alistair leaned closer, savoring her humiliation. Money means nothing. Up here it's power. And you don't have it. Marco sighed, gesturing toward the rear. Ms. Vance, please come with me. Dignity intact, rage simmering, Leona walked down the aisle. Silence weighed heavy. Alistair's laughter echoed. That's right, back where you belong. She sat in the rough leather at the back. No tears, no collapse, only silence. Finch raised his voice triumphant. All fixed now. Some forget where they belong. Luckily, rules still exist. His laughter bounced across the cabin. Some turned away in disgust. Others stared at their shoes, complicit in silence. Then the supervisor appeared. Eleanor Reed, stern and commanding, stepped in. What's going on here? She demanded. Alistair waved dismissively. Nothing serious. She confused her seat. All sorted. Eleanor's eyes sharpened as she examined Leona's crumpled ticket, cross-checking it with her tablet. Her jaw tightened. She turned to Finch. Sir, this seat is not yours. Passenger Vance is the rightful occupant. Alistair scoffed, try to maintain control. Let's not make a drama. She's fine back there. Don't delay everyone over a trifle. But Eleanor's voice cut like steel. This flight will not depart until this is resolved properly. Murmurs spread like wildfire. The silence had cracked open. Leona lifted her chin, eyes locked on Alistair's, burning with dangerous calm. His laugh returned, but it trembled, hollow, fear bleeding through arrogance. The weight of truth pressed down. The pilot was alerted. The plane could not move. Alistair's confidence shattered, his grin breaking like glass under strain, and the flight remained on the ground. He thought he could steal the seat, but the flight never took off. This is absurd. "We're wasting time over a misunderstanding," Alistair Finch said, raising his voice to find allies. But the passengers were no longer on his side. The murmur that had once shielded him had turned into disapproval. "Give her back her seat. This isn't right. What a disgrace." The voices blended, firm and trembling, yet united against him. Eleanor, the supervisor, stood in front of Alistair with the authority of a judge. "Mr. Finch, you must stand up now. If you refuse, the flight will not take off, and airport security will intervene." The word security rang through the cabin. Alistair squirmed, his arrogance crumbling in full view of disgusted eyes. "Security for a spoiled little girl?" he spat, gesturing at Leona. But instead of intimidating her, his insult ignited the passenger's anger. A clap came from row 5, then another, until applause swelled, echoing like judgment. Leona, seated silently in the back, didn't smile or celebrate. Her serenity made his rage look smaller. She didn't need to speak. The world was doing it for her. Alistair rose abruptly, red-faced. "This is a circus, a damn circus." When he tried to push through the aisle, Eleanor blocked it. "No, sir. You will not be continuing on this flight. You've jeopardized safety, violated rules, and humiliated a passenger. You must get off." The cabin fell silent. Alistair opened his mouth, but no sound came. He wasn't used to losing, least of all to a black woman he had tried to diminish. Then a security officer entered, sealing his fate. Minutes earlier, Alistair had felt invincible. Now he was a clumsy shadow, escorted through stairs that cut like knives. Passing Leona, he glared with hatred, but she remained calm, as though revenge was beneath her. He stepped off the plane, defeated. The door closed with a final click, ending the illusion of power he had carried for years. The flight resumed. Leona reclaimed seat 1A. She didn't smile or gloat. Her composure spoke louder than triumph. The passengers respected her, sensing they had witnessed more than a seat dispute. They had witnessed justice. But Alistair's fall didn't stop in the cabin. A passenger had recorded everything: his venom, his humiliation, his removal. The video went viral within hours. Headlines branded him London executive exposed for racism on a flight. His oil company, under public pressure, dismissed him immediately. Contracts collapsed. His name, once powerful, became poison. Invitations vanished. Friends pretended not to know him. Every insult he had hurled on that plane echoed endlessly. Alistair Finch went from untouchable executive to pariah. The seat he stole out of arrogance ended up costing him everything: his job, reputation, and place at the top. Leona, however, continued her life without looking back. For her, that flight was not a victory parade, but a reminder: dignity is non-negotiable, and hatred always exacts a steep price. Though the plane continued its journey, for Alistair Finch, that day marked the end of his travels. Life had presented its bill. He had believed money, privilege, and name granted superiority. He thought he could steal a seat as one steals a right. But truth, like water, always breaks through. Surrounded by witnesses, Alistair finally faced the lesson he had avoided all his life: power used to humiliate ensures downfall. That seat was more than a number on a ticket. It symbolized dignity and respect, things no one should beg for. Leona defended it without shouting or violence. Her calm strength, proving her worth, was untouchable. Alistair lost the flight, his fortune, and the convenient friendships that had propped him up. What he truly lost was humanity. He became the embodiment of what hatred destroys. Leona remained intact, stronger than before. Her victory was not in reclaiming a seat, but in showing that no insult or humiliation can erase the truth. Racism may disguise itself behind wealth or authority, but it always reveals its misery. And when it does, justice arrives. The moral is clear: seats, like respect, cannot be stolen. They are earned. That flight will forever stand as proof that dignity cannot be bought, and hatred always demands its price.